all sentient beings is Buddha nature. Gampopa also said in the jewel ornament of liberation in the beginning, he said that the cause is Buddha nature. And Buddha himself said all sentient beings are actually Buddhas. So from that perspective, there is no outer or inner or Buddhist or non-Buddhist. The mind is the same, and the mind is non-dual, like space. The Dharmakaya, the Buddha, that is free of all dualistic grasping. But dualistic grasping occurs, that naturally leads to the appearance of the 6 realms of samsara. So that is explained very clearly in the Samantabhadra prayer, which is really very profound. That is really the root of the empowerment. So if you understand the meaning of a single empowerment in this way, you have understood the meaning of hundreds of empowerments. So when you receive an empowerment, receiving the base on your crown is not what is most important. But Lord Jigten Sumgön had said, when the meaning of the empowerment arises in your mind stream, that is when you receive the empowerment. And he also said, which is also in the Gongchik, that the karmic ripening is the natural manifestation of the moment-by-moment thoughts arising in the mind. So when the mind is a state of bodhicitta, then the natural reflection of bodhicitta is the appearance of pure forms and pure lands. And that is when the 5 afflicted emotions have ripened into the 5 wisdoms, the pure lands manifest. And for as long as the mind is unripe, the 6 realms of samsara manifest. But once karma becomes purified, Buddha nature still remains as it is. It never becomes spoiled. So in order to actualize it, the Buddha nature, it is most important to cultivate love.
There is a logic, chuko the longo the chuko the tikana jini was a February. The chuko swati tata me was a chipari class I go chipari the young simply don't love what you chase about the Kakari, Messindipa. Penata, like about Tamchiman, the building the Setawe, 3D, Bishi, Unjin, simply Mambo Prince of the may that of me, Mambo, me, you know, simply people double top chivata, nobody about a top chiva, anyway. Daddy Shokia Tamchegadi, and nobody double young top chimbo young girl. There is Shokia, the people about the Sancho Sibutrapa, the Trapa Simchima, they but the Jogo also. This is that you need to get to Loju, Tongong the Church, your show, the Loju show.
So then we come to the historical background of the empowerment. And so now from the Dharmakaya appears the Sambhogakaya Chenrezig, and then from that appears the Nirmanakaya, who actually manifests in this world, for example, as a human being. So in terms of being a human being, they are the same. For example, they need to eat food, the same as we do. But then when it comes to their ability to benefit sentient beings vastly, then there is a very special power that they have. So what really distinguishes them is their special power to benefit beings. For example, someone like holiness, or many other individuals in this world who benefit beings with their knowledge in many different ways. So they're the same in being human beings, but they have a special power to benefit others. Actually, there's 2 kinds of powers. Some have a special power to harm others, and some have a special power to benefit others. For example, if self-grasping is very strong, then such a person has a very strong power, a special power to harm others. And likewise, if bodhicitta, the altruistic mind, is very strong, then such a person has a special ability to benefit others. And so with that ability, with that bodhicitta, then Nirmanakayas, the emanations appear for as long as sentient beings exist in various ways. So now we come to the historical background of Chenrezig, the 6 syllables. It is very short, so I will read that in English. So it says, the deity noble Chenrezig is by nature the heart son of the Buddha Amitabha. From the presence of Amitabha, he took a vow to act for the welfare of sentient beings until samsara is emptied. His principal emanation resides at the Potala mountain. He appeared in particular in the snowy land of Tibet, a place where the Buddha himself has not set foot on. When passing into Parinirvana, the Buddha Shakyamuni said to the noble Chenrezig, "You must tame sentient beings in the land of Tibet." Accordingly, Chenrezig emanated in Tibet as the monkey bodhisattva, taming sentient beings and propagating the Dharma. The Dharma kings of Tibet, such as King Songtsen Gampo, as well as other spiritual masters, such as Dromdömpa, are said to be emanations of Chenrezig. The Waterfall Sutra says, by hearing of Chenrezig's name and great qualities, all evil deeds, such as the 5 great deeds with immediate result, will be purified. The Ratnakaranta Sutra says, by remembering Chenrezig's name, you will be born in Devachen. The sadhana of the 6 syllables was composed by Acharya Lenji Gyebe Rinpoche, and of the divisions of Tantra, it belongs to the Kriya or action Tantra of the Lotus family. It is taught that by merely hearing the 6-syllable mantra one single time, one will attain a fortunate rebirth in the higher realms. By beholding it with faith, when carved on rocks or stones, one will attain the state of non-return and become a guide of sentient beings. When whispered into the ear of a dying animal, it will take birth in Devachen. These are some of the great benefits of the 6-syllable mantra.
Om Benda Sato Samaya Manebalaya Benda Sato Tino Tirdandro Mebawa Sotukayo Mebawa Sopichayo Mebawa Anarako Sawasa de Memayata Savaka Masatan Tatamchi Angoro Hong Ha 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 Ho Baga Sawata Tangata Meta Somoyo Sato Masavata Tanga Befekadi Samaya Cherry, so one Tombani, the Tombani, Omnis, Rinpoche, New Yam Jaja, Chiwana, Hong Shore, Toba, Toba, Sabami, Devachi, Chinima, Nanguda, Yamba, Yoma, Harmo, Tamana, Dedana, Oma, Oma Garumo, the Mana, the Oma, Hong, Oma, Garumo, Adenibena de Oma, Hong, Bezo, Jumdi, Vijuba, and Himala, Satara, the Vijuba, don't do the Mala, Satara, the Vijuba, Gondamela, Satara, the Vijuba, Juba, Tamjita, Joshua, Lo Sata, Lo, and the Mother Water, Gana, our get a woman, Sambara, Hong, the Mother Water. Our lawyer get the Oma Sambara, on the Mother Water, our lawyer get the Oma Sambara, or Gangan, Simojava, one of the Chata, that's a Moja, these are what I one. You check about Sony that the other man is our China, the city of Amapoya, Jubanda, and the somebody was. Simply not people that are in the by the Gigi, then the future, the region, somebody to walk. They don't give those things down there to Jim Mayuka and so on. Conja the Agra, you know, Mazi, Jom, Jimbo, Joganda, very long money, and it had the soldier. Don't you know, Granite, the Satana, on the Samana, hold the 사회원 대소 동제대 자주 마을에서 모든 동제 도지 거다 대연도 놀라고 동제 도지 사회에다 도지 자스로도 도지 자 대스로 시제에 봉방함에 봐서 맞아서 맞아서 송고로요 제자제와 조메 되네메다 바메다 따가라 비다라 메다라 샤다로 땀삼 오메다 돌아다나가 홍홍홍홍 들이 남가다냐면 샘기 나디에 종아리 대니 보라들이 나디 라랑 소소를 서도지들 강매 만나비 샘기 삼지 들이 남가가 사지에 나도 뭐야 아버 메라버고래 대체 아버네들이 사지게 인빙으로 상속세대 차바바나지 톱소 사진 인빙으로 제 나디리 아퍼테서 이거 됐다 메라버고래지 네
So all those sentient beings, limitless in space, have arisen from self-grasping. And now as an antidote to that, we are offering up this self-grasping as a mandala offering. So you bring into mind the entire outer infinite universe and all the inner sentient beings with all their self-grasping, and think that you're offering it up to the Buddhas abiding in space before you as a mandala. And in return, think that those Buddhas grant their altruistic mind, their bodhicitta, which falls down like rain, and you all receive it. So think that then altruism arises within you and you have offered up self-grasping. So in this way, please offer a mandala.
We'll do the mandala offering in the yellow prayer book on page 7. An infinite array of worlds, each with 4 continents and the wealth of infinite oceans of realms. If I bring them all to mind and offer them without exception, please hold with compassion all beings they contain, my body, enjoyments, and whatever I own, my aggregates, elements, and sense sources, my aspirations now and times to come, as well as everything on earth as mine. By offering them all, may I be blessed and the self-grasping, completely liberated from the bounds of transcending the names and concepts of arising, cessation, and abiding, coming and going, affirmation and denial. The supreme mandala is the natural state. By offering it, may I be blessed to attain the state of Buddhahood. Om Guru Deva Dakini Ratna Mandala Pratishtha Soha.
다 메다 퍼바답지 이 셈비 사제 담지 죽거나 화에서 딱딱 요요리 드니 셈비게 대바로 쏘아 따바담더니 로버드더니 나화를 뜬다와다더니 철이 쳐버도 왔다더니 나화를 무슨 배운 거요래 사제 좀 뒤에 그래서 강제 터바이 이 바텐데 터바이요 송 그래서 가지 쏘았다면 냠데요 송 고도부분이 대답을 거를 도다부분이더니 랑그 색이랑 실했더니 사진 좋아치 보여래 선대식 뭐 그런 데와 옆에 난다리요 말에 도다부대 마토나 대답들이 따와 하고 탐지게 대답 무슨이 학한 곳이 반하게 난 화리요 장들이 뒤들이 왕쇼요 삼 들이 답도 다시 이디고
And so now, by merely having offered a mandala, then think that the Buddha is actually here appearing in space. So actually they're always here. The Dharmakaya is like space, and that is always present. But when sentient beings supplicate them with devotion, then in an instant they manifest like a cloud in the sky. So momentarily a cloud appears in the sky. The Buddha himself had said, whoever brings to mind the Buddha will be right with them, next to them. So actually the Buddha is always together with us then. That is from the relative perspective. From the ultimate perspective, actually the Buddha is connected to our own mind, our own Buddha nature. And in that sense, actually the Buddha is never separate from us. This state is beyond meeting and parting. That is how it is when you see the ultimate truth, or those of you who understand the view. So it is just like opening the temple doors and seeing the temple. So think that the Buddhas are actually present and that you are receiving the empowerment from them. So then next we need to repeat the refuge and the motivation of bodhicitta.
Garchen, Yi Rinpoche, Sipa, Polo, Nam Yongwa, Tereng, Xiepe, Rinpoche, Zowo, Dala, Garchen.
Then in English, embodiment of omniscient wisdom, principal deity, through your kindness, please grant me the precious treasure you are setting forth today that utterly purifies the wheel of existence.
Lamada Biki, Latonam Bitrond, Dr. Roger, the Bachapada Givala, Gisayana, the Sempi Basso. Give us our Dopo Sancho, the Ginang, Control Jivia, none of that you later. They do.
So then in the presence of the Lama and the assembly of the Yunam deities, we will repeat a 5 gold offering, which is taking refuge, which is rejoicing, and which is first taking refuge and cultivating bodhicitta, then rejoicing, confessing negativities, and dedicating.
Samla, Dajavji, Degba, Mege, So Sha, Rove, Gela, Ji Rang, Sangye, Changche, Yi Ji Zong, Sangye, Chu Dang, Cho Cho La, Chang Che, Barthe, Da Jam Chi, Rang Jin, Dong Ni, Rab Drab Ser, Chang Che, Sen Ne, Ji Bie Xiang, San Chou, Chou Ge, Sen Ne, Ji Bar Ji, San Chou, Chou Ge, Sen Ne, Ji Ji Ne, Sen Jin, Tam Ji, Da Ki, Rong Ze Nier, Chang Che, Zhun Chou, Yi Ong, Ji Bar Ji, Ro La, Pin Ser, Sang Ji, Rup Bar Zhou.
In English, I take refuge in the 3 jewels and confess all evil and unvirtuous things. I rejoice in the virtues of all beings and hold the Buddha's awakening in mind. Until attaining awakening, I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly in order to fully accomplish the purpose of others and myself. I give rise to bodhicitta, having given rise to the mind of Supreme Awakening. I welcome all beings. I will practice the supreme bodhisattva conduct that is pleasing to all, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings.
Midi Wanga Bandordu, Dordu Bakosum to Jesalat, some Jitanamacho, so the Sovata Bande Jidu.
So then, in order to receive the actual empowerment in stages, the blessings of body, speech, and mind, please repeat the following.
Se raga kwe je nanga do so wa de bande je de lo pong gong se sor da la pak pa jin le de wang so ge ko song ho je ji se na wa dar de sor.
Master, please heed me. Please bestow upon me the empowerment of body, speech, and mind of the noble Lord Chenrezig.
Lara se rada ko je nang do so wa de ba de ji de zo do je zem ba gong se so ba ne ro la pin dong de zo qi chu la so de ji sa je yi xi
Then, in order to receive the specific empowerment of body, please repeat the following. Vajra holder, please heed me for the benefit of beings. I supplicate you who possess great kindness, please cause the mudra of wisdom to arise. So then, the Chenrezig's life force of his heart is compassion, and that is represented by the seed syllable Shri. So visualize a white Shri, and you can visualize it either in Tibetan, Chinese, or English script. It is the sound Shri. The sound of Shri is the sound of great compassion. So visualize this white Shri and close your eyes, and then imagine that from the sky, a rain of Chenrezig's forms, large and small, descends and dissolves into the entire universe and all sentient beings. So most importantly, meditate single-pointedly on the white tree.
这个他们就用的做的你就都会把我用的没嘛人家真的因为一个怎么做你怎么达到了默契你把什么这么容易就把我妈这个把他都砸我把我说他都啊啦我的那个那是我在这边在这边我把他这边其实不错也在这把他你那都新人看把他现在那是这他们把走也我马上别没我是哎呀我老给说的啥巴拉别他什么样子啊讲哪位去啊但是因为被几把这年上就我特别把他们两个这把说的都这把就这的人别他说说今天这个国巴在那他接人的国家这里国出去了，国接人的王的，他这样子过，那这里就是把他把的。
So if you have an image of Chenrezig, then look at that image now. This is the beginning of the generation stage and the empowerment of form of generation stage. And now again and again visualize the form of the deity, and this will purify the obscurations of your body.
我就这个上我就错别家吧，过得就把我个啥人啊也他就什么他从我错都错那就那个现着我别的不们这的都我别的爸爸的都我们的阿罗个爸的都我们这个在这的做哇，我们在那个在这的做哇，多节就从这浪着就不知道我们的就那知道这浪这了这，西从我就说我这边叫人我个古巴这，他就什么的这西酒，他就什么的这就热呢。我们那就给这样说，那就睡觉早，我也不知道我们那个什么都是家庭环境了，是吧？人，我也没做过，我们那都过钱，别有个把搞不上，有时间了，你得有个嘛。就这有玩都了，我们老万个没办，万个都这么呢，看上怪在，上节关就上上的，那那种啊，就把啥我们啥吧打打个的。啊，别开个的什么呀？现在也我们什么的当个，我别开个的什么呀？现在也我们怎么，这那个嘛，啊，别开个什么，你现在也我，这里我们长个身体长这个长个，今年是这里叫我的不把那万国可有上，这个我讲过的。
And so you should think that above the crown of all the disciples, however many there are, in fact, above all sentient beings, there is a Chenrezig holding a vase and conferring empowerment upon the crown of everyone, of all beings.
在这万国外的地区就一路特别강这嘛特别大这样嘛觉得就话人家都不叫话人个我进说我就这个生活就我就个我个啥也没过去像我们爸爸不干那他们没办法就不都做嘛我话是就是我这就是中国没这么什么啥就别嘛家吧咱们这个往这里这个这西藏不这个都不这个在那说，在这意思，那位绿的光的时候，不是嘛把车在地上去把打，这意思那我马里把头，绿来接人，那东西就个把我把老王，这不这个什么干嘛觉得是吧？也喏。
Being thus initiated, karmic imprints and defilements accumulated with the body and all grasping at them are purified. You have received the complete form empowerment. You are now empowered to practice the stages of generation, of visualizing your body as the deity, the union of appearance and emptiness. As a result, you will have the fortune to accomplish the Nirmanakaya.
One gonna be managed the you can't reach her papa what of this her tasong taza de garete now nobody now lui some of the tasong the church the garete somebody new job you church yipping log yipping log is a book comes on some 3 hours on the harbor at the church yipping lord.
So now, when the empowerment is conferred, I think that the base nectar enters your crown and fills up your entire body, and now all obscurations all defilements are being purified. So what is it that is being actually purified? It is this thought of I, me, I am this body. This is being purified. And the water that purifies it is love and compassion. So it is the altruistic mind that has filled your entire body. So this is how you should understand the empowerment. The essence of water is love.
So good you know go to so about the then ba gong so dani rola pain don't nga ji wan guo yi xi qi mu zhe de wa ba la zuo.
And in order to receive the speech empowerment, please repeat the following. Vajra holder, please heed me for the benefit of beings. Please grant me the great wisdom of the mantra empowerment, which is the source of all accomplishments.
Then Robodang Chirana Larsa, Romoja Toga, Hunter Sound, the Jebal, Mamma, if you get the Hunter Sound, the Jebal, Shani Tong, Chirana, the other show. When you can come, drink, so the Jebel, so the Chola Church about the Sabaja Mebata Jebe, one day you do. Oh, money be me home. Oh, money be me home. Oh, money be me home. Oh, money be me home.
Oh, money be me home.
John D. Dala. Dala Ji. Dala. Niewar. Zeto Sor.
Zeto Sor. Conqueror, as I have become your disciple, please take me under your care. Being thus initiated, karmic imprints and defilements accumulated with the speech, and all grasping at them are purified. You have received the complete speech empowerment. You are now empowered to recite the deity's secret mantra, the union of sound and emptiness. As a result, you will have the fortune to accomplish the Sambhogakaya.
한 콜공야 대들이 설명하고 콜로 때출라 때들이 메토 빠면서는 많이 로코가 대공고요래 그 곰들 따고 생고 깎고요래 그 곰은 콜로들이 담보 갈래 거들이 하장 요고 되는 거기 요 곰을 띠지리들이 따방나 양동이 야라들이 제다 정진 콜로들 사지 마서 좀 봐서 내그요래 띠띠다 곰 갖고 오네 맨날 콜로들이 하고 비운다는 종을 상하 딱동치 받을 가래들이 파철 깨자도 시에는 들리고서 나다 차장도 봐 고토시알을 되는 라산 초가 짱을 초가 치보요래 나들 초가 강요 요말 세파 딱 맞아 오고요래 되게들이 꼬꼬미 루즈 박차 다서 나한테 다 송하 되게들이 하고 박차도 나도 리지 똑바 매 봤자 들이 니가면 송거 담 책을더니 이거 책도 봐시나 책 니볼 차과 매 봐. 처음에 벌로 나오면 봐서 답이 더봤다고지 들자 가리시면 나가 달라고 공소는 들자 다디서 파타로요래 대회들이 상하 작동부터 돌아봐라고 하죠 심상마저로 다디가 박차 다로요래 그때 비용들이 이제 라쿠도 너네들이 마고 무슨 요바들이 류지게와 라코 꼬크요래 나그게와 나들 장미 받더니 꼬라까 세자나 사야증들이 사야들이 말라시바 나주바시바 스타트 꼬나그 비용 망고시요래 되었다 들이 세무들이 샘마잉과 딱다요 누가 예수께 다 책거요래 라코 두두 들어올래 까베지 라파라가 마제 꼴들이 또 가래 꼴들이 샘들 책대기도 내리더니 니 꼴들이 잡서 꼬트 받착거요래 들이지만 라코 제야 매발 라코 하죠 세와치고 구바치고 이걸 깝들이 다음 라코를 제대로 우 사람들이 라코를 세와치고 차는들이 포하자고 말이 라코를 셔를 포함하고 송을 이 속을 담들이 라코를 하죠 짜치고를
So for the mantra the visualization of the mantra garland. Visualize the mantra garland single-pointedly. So there is this mantra wheel, which is like a flower, and where you have the 6 syllables of the Mani mantra on each of these petals. So visualize this mantra garland or this mantra like string, and if that's difficult to visualize, you can also actually spin a prayer wheel. So first start with the visualization of the mantra garland, this wheel, and until that becomes stable, and then it slowly begins to turn until it becomes really fast. And when it turns really fast, then rest within the nature of the mind, within the view of emptiness. This is what is called sealing with emptiness. And then this mantra wheel will stay with you until attaining enlightenment. So again, if it is difficult to visualize that, you can also spin a prayer wheel. And actually, within the prayer wheel, all the benefits of the mantra are actually also complete. So in the secret mantra, the nature of the secret mantra is this unity of sound and emptiness. So for the most part, when we hear ordinary conversation, that immediately triggers an emotion in us of anger, attachment, aversion, and so on. And then we start fighting and so on. So it generates a very strong feeling. The mantra, on the other hand, does not generate any feeling like that at all. So it purifies your mind. It purifies the habitual karmic imprints of the speech, the clinging, grasping at speech, at sound. And the visualization of the form purifies the karmic imprints of the body. So actually, with regard to the Samaya, in terms of speech, now when you recognize the empty nature of sound through the mantra, then you will not develop, for example, a sense of attachment towards pleasant words or sounds, and you will not develop an aversion against unpleasant words or sounds. You will see it all as like an illusion. And in this way, the sound of the mantra, when you habituate to it, purifies the ordinary imprints of speech. So that is the unity of sound and emptiness according to the secret mantra. And so that benefit is also complete within the spinning of a prayer wheel. Actually, the spinning of a prayer wheel completes the virtues of body, speech, and mind. So with the body, you are actually turning the wheel with your hand. And in terms of the speech, the wheel is filled with countless mantras. For example, if it is 1 million mantras, then with each rotation, 1 million mantras emanates outward. So here in this context, remember the benefits of the mantra. The mantra is the deity, the mantra is an offering, and so forth. So read about the benefits of the mantra again. And so in this way, you practice non-distraction, also with your mind, when you spin a prayer wheel. So sometimes when you don't have anything to do, just spin the prayer wheel slowly and single-pointedly. And when you habituate to that, sometimes you will even be able to spin the prayer wheel when you're a little bit asleep. And so when you always spin the prayer wheel, it's always with you, you will never forget about it. It always stays with you. And you develop great love and respect for the wheel. And at the time of death, place the wheel above your head on the pillow, then the awareness goes there, knowing that my wheel is there at the crown. And it is said, if you have such great awareness and love of your prayer wheel, it is not even necessary to practice pova, the transference of consciousness. It happens naturally because the prayer wheel is there. So that is why that is a very precious practice.
사제 인추 주면 계속 가야 되는데 이제들이 홀로는 사야만 보더니 사제 생탑실에 주바 펄 거요 곰는 여기서 버가면 사제를 주바 무슨 톱로요 야 이 습지는 이제 그 심지 득도 주면 계속 이 말은 저거 습지 터면 진에서 사야 톱설만 보더니 습지 자정냐 봐들이 라고는 패배 들이 착과를 그 똑바로 세 들이 도배 봐라 도모배 봐라 도모 들이랑 가리고는 진에서 탑적으로 만난 거요 상들이 습지 득도 주면 계속 들이 들이 생고만 대바지 시험은 hingi기와 대그들이 소시 다디들 박차섭에 다 로래 대바다 hingi 이게 다른 것도 주면 계속 무슨 되지 제버티 삼로다는 세고등은 삼로다는 들이 싸워 동다데 하고 그래 오다 산지지 주면 제 습지 득용 주면 제 다른 것도 주면 제 정리래 살면 그래서 나 소도 요바도 그 들이랑 컸다 잘못 봐 이제 저 차요 거래 이제 다 동시요래
So in brief, with regard to the benefits of the mantra, it is that the mantra garland is an unceasing offering to all the Buddhas. So for example, if your prayer wheel is filled with millions of Chenrezig mantras, and you spin it, then you can think that the Chenrezigs, millions of them, emanate outward and make offerings to all the Buddhas in the Pure Lands. And then you receive the benefit of having made such an offering. Then the second benefit is the mantra garland is an unceasing purification of sentient beings' obscurations. So then also you can think that there's countless forms of Chenrezig going down to the 6 realms of samsara. However many sentient beings there are, that many Chenrezigs go there to benefit beings. And then help them in whichever way necessary. For example, warming those who are cold, or giving clothes to those who don't have clothes, or don't give food to those who are hungry, or partners, male or female, to those who are lonely, and so on. So whatever anyone needs, Chenrezig helps them achieve that. So in this way, then the second benefit of the unceasing purification of sentient beings' obscurations is accomplished. So you develop faith, devotion to the higher beings, and it becomes, or this mantra garland becomes this faith and devotion, and it becomes compassion for sentient beings, where it purifies the self-grasping, karmic obscurations and imprints in their minds. So it becomes devotion and compassion. And then the third benefit is that it becomes an unceasing accomplishment of siddhis for oneself. So if you really think about it, then you will understand the meaning of this clearly. So internalize it, so you really understand that through the mantra, the mantra really does become an unceasing offering to the Buddhas. It really does purify the obscurations of sentient beings, and it really does lead to my own accomplishment. So when you understand that, then you will want to accumulate merit. Then you will not be able to separate from your prayer wheel. That is why it's important to understand this.
통계지는 것도 소화자반데 지디도 도지 zemba 공서서 나네 로라 페이동의 바워 노지 로봉지 롬쇼 땡지 지서서.
So then, in order to receive the mind empowerment, please repeat the following. Vajra holder, please heed me for the benefit of beings. Courageous Vajra master, please cause the samadhi of the supreme mind to arise.
로부 라서가 더가 성원에 온 그런 데를 하야 더가 보면 데를 하야 내서 바로 보가 다 접다다 면서 사람도와다 강도 성원상 도전나 봐 빠도 매바 성 로마 라서가 로가 있으면 담배 지난 남들 로가 있으면 사방바 끼네도 고성도 예비도 집에 매고 보는 이게 다 정말 좀도 제 네가 그래서 다 만들어 이거 요래 내 만들어 디 맥바라더니 다 공이 라디 나카처럼 잡아받아서 오는데 돈이 세부터 봐다 세부터 봐더니 라이 꼭꼭 막 그리지도 봐다 되니 나데 봐그 나도 봐다 되니 세면 다 세면 라가 세면 사촉 셈 공나 당부 이핑로 사바 세미 봐 진짜리 다음에 봐차 이미 사바체메 밖에 가면들이 셈을 칠 때는 셈 나카다가 이메와 차대리 그 세교원들이 디 롬초데 셈코랑 이제 사제리 셈코랑 내lok대도 그 대초다바 사제 공부 들어가는 거지 셈지들은 사제니도 셈코랑 이제 사제에 봐 그래 나디 니 나지 이디 잡다 셈들아 그 신의 공 상통급들이 셈 나카다블 나카를 이메와 하고는 그 따와 그 초요래 들이 때에서 다 소소를 만들어 망부 퍼요래 가사가라 들라마 선 남바 사지 받아 이 더터쯤이 만들어 답지 들이 딱발 들이 깨는 법을 간 사지 기치 보여래 들이 만들어 리는 이들이 요사 그래서 더 만들어서 로잡차 방법을 던져야 돼 뭐요래 아 진짜 더 만들어랑 소소라고 때 이거래 뜻이 이게 그때랑 남이 가도 있잖아 되니 만들어 이거래
So then here, at this point, we are eating a mani pill, like a blessing pill. And so for the visualization, it is as before, where you visualize that the deities descend down like rain falling down. And so what actually happens is that your mind becomes purified of the obscurations. And so by visualizing the form of the body of the deity, you purify the physical obscurations. By reciting the deity's mantra, you purify the speech obscurations. And then the mind is purified by cultivating bodhicitta. And for that, first, an altruistic mind, immeasurable love arises. In that way, self-grasping disappears. So at the moment when altruism and immeasurable love is present in your mind, when you look at that mind, it is like space, non-dual. So that is here the supreme mind that we just mentioned in the repetition. The supreme mind is the fundamental ground, the basis, which is actually Buddha. So when you realize the true nature of your mind, that is supreme, that's the supreme mind. That itself is the enlightened mind of all the Buddhas. So therefore the Buddha said all sentient beings are actually Buddhas. So when the mind separates from the dualistic grasping at self and the other, so first you separate from that by cultivating a state of calm abiding, shamatha, and then when that leads into vipassana or this true insight into the nature of the mind, then you realize that my mind is just like space. And this is really where the realization of the ultimate view begins. So regarding those mani pills or blessing pills, you receive them from many different lamas. They're offered all over the place. And you can take any of those mani pills that you have received from any of your teachers and eat them, especially whenever you practice the deity, whenever you visualize the deity in the generation stage, you should eat a blessing pill, a mani pill. That's important. And also visualize that the seed syllable of the deity is inside that pill. So these pills that I'm offering continuously have been consecrated for many years. So you can eat one of them now, and whenever you actually engage in practice, you should eat one of those pills.
남도 탐치 세미송도 동바대의 촬영을 깜들이 못이나 오 샘남과 다위 직접 해봤게 차우요래 들이 하고는 들이 들이 돈이 니디 매봐 요매가 매봐 들이 촬영을 들이 다치 잡는 들이 이 돈이 되란 게 뭐지거든요 여기 홍적설라서가 남상 홍시 대검 들이 가서는 And
so here we will meditate for a short while, and so there will be two soundings of the bell. When you hear the first sounding of the bell, then focus your awareness on that sound, and then observe how the sound gradually disappears. And so as the sound disappears, think that the thoughts also are interrupted through the sound. And when thoughts disappear, emptiness arises. And that is when you can see the nature of the mind. And when you recognize it, then what you recognize is the mind that is free of all thinking, is that mind is like space. So that is then the understanding of emptiness. Emptiness is the state that is free of all dualistic thinking. There is no concept of existence or non-existence. So this experience of emptiness then arises. And then with the second sounding of the bell, then again, from within this state of emptiness, arises instantly the syllable Shri or the syllable Hong, and then sustain that awareness of Hong or Shri throughout all of your activities.
근데 너무 저기 버라지 저울하다 마다 라마 이제 저번에 도저히 저런 거다 제가 빨리 제자는 이제 그 다시 선바 저기 보던 거 근데들 제가 이선 나왜 이제 고는 사고 정말 박자서 네가 제봤다 통지 이선 나와 말을 봐톱 샘 라이 통지랑 이제 사동성 요거를 막 고발아 왕 내가 축구를 막 가봐지듯이 봐요.
Being thus initiated, karmic imprints and defilements accumulated with the mind and all grasping at them are purified. You have received a complete mind empowerment. You are now empowered to meditate on the nature of the deity's mind, the union of clarity and emptiness. As a result, you will have the fortune to accomplish the Dharmakaya.
데이터 그린게 소견아 요배 사제당 사첩선바 삼제달라 공서솔 바라랑 men시제외 둔전의 정대
Say your name.
제시 상촉정보랑 치제바드 상박바지레세 여담제할 송생 대이송아 니제 제도 저리서 나와죠.
Yeah, so then for the Samaya, please repeat the following. All the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas residing in the 10 directions, please heed me. Master, please heed me from today onwards until attaining the heart of enlightenment. I will take up the exalted deity, noble Lord Chenrezig, as my Yidam deity, and will recite his mantra daily to whatever extent I am able.
드리다다디 꽃이지도 그 리즈박차 送的把哪个把下，就做头的里，就是一个十的嘛，一把节的里，今天这个啥他们这个这里，做大到做上出生，上这的啥他们头的这里就当那个啥，就是做其他岗地方，这的啥他们我这把的啥看看上面个嘛的，啥这个啥他们上出生人都说，这不也这个都早上出生人都有的，
So, Nakota Samaya. When we visualize the form of the deity, that purifies the karmic imprints of the body. By reciting the mantra, that purifies the karmic imprints of the speech. But what's most important is the mind of the deity. And that is to never forget about the Shri syllable. That is the life force syllable of Chenrezig. And it represents a mind of love and compassion. That is the mind of all the deities. So that's really most important, to see that within this essence of love, all the deities really are complete. They have a single essence. So don't think that the deities are separate. It is said that all the deities are complete within the mind of bodhicitta. And it also says that the 84,000 Dharma teachings are complete within bodhicitta. So if you do not allow bodhicitta to decline, then the Samaya will not decline.
SagaDawa de nangpa yodo ko tsi hata kachi bori tsi kab dala tsi tata tsi sikapo chi toga wa somne tsi manu togdum tsogo yore tsi lomba tabchi ka manu sa tato kang tabtab de tsi tata sikapo chi tola tani tsi tse che gore tsi tse la tsi dini yang tsi Arizona yang tsi ngoto ta mandara dhruya tang tsi mandara tata jatang ka gogo mandara di 사가티 된 보통이 종대 같이 된 거리 종대 되다 만날 벌들 되리 유마 제바 중국자나마 저도 이제다별은 코네 이렇게 유마 제바 되는 사과도 되는다니 다와체다 이마 집지 실거들이 두치 두치를 소리들이다 다치를 라라들이 좀 말을 더비어래 이제 잡으려는 다다다 풀려를 내고 답지라 이 양자들이 만들어 소소로 접네 라는 것들이 값들이 만들어 접하고 대바들이 예토를 저용 거 대라는 걸로 대라는 거 사람 가리로 대 접지는 이 사람 체체를 놓고요래 라는 때문에 사람하고 또고들이 이 SagaDawa 디라들이 다 도박해야 땅들이 만들어 줘야 다른 만들 좀 소야 되게 달랍지 못 주지요리 되다 고감들라 하자들이 이제 이거 사와 탐지 다른 참자를 라왕메바 라왕메 차들이 다 깝들이 다 배추거들이 너네 대화를 절 이기 좋은 절 듣고요리 다 탐지 곰냠리 소정 들이 제 탐지라 그때 또는 지 야고요리
So this is the beginning of the month of SagaDawa, which is a very important, a special month, a holy time for all the Buddhists in the world. And at that time, also our center in Singapore is holding 100 million Mani Mantra accumulation retreat. So also I encourage you disciples to accumulate as many Mani Mantras as you can, and then please also submit your numbers to the Singapore Center. And also here in Arizona, we are practicing the consecration of the Mani pills, which actually has been done always in Garchen for many generations, ever since Gar Denzin Punsok and actually Garchen Dingpa. This consecration of the Mani pills practice has been conducted continuously, uninterruptedly for generations. And also likewise, our precious prayer wheel, the Gyanarma at Gar Monastery, turns there 24 hours continuously. And now the way the money pills are being consecrated is through a 49-day-long Drupchen. There are 7 Drupchens, each a week long, being held all at the same time. And during that time, the money pills are being consecrated. And then, having consecrated those money pills, they're offered around the world. And actually, the sadhana to consecrate the money pills is also being translated into English. And so whenever that is available, then you can also consecrate your own money pills and recite this sadhana. And in this way, enhance the blessings. When you engage in this practice with faith and a pure motivation, then the power increases. So during this month of the SagaDawa, in particular, this is a multiplying month where our virtuous activities all increase. That is why it is good to take vows and to recite the Mani mantra, like participating in the 100 million mantra accumulation and consecrate Mani pills and so on. It is a time where we should really engage in vast activities of virtue, of Dharma practice. And now is also a time where we have no choice but to stop all our activities in the world. And therefore, this is also an opportunity then to practice the Dharma. And through the Dharma practice, we can transform suffering into happiness and adverse circumstances into conducive circumstances, supportive circumstances. So I encourage you to really use this time to focus your attention on practice, on meditation, and on study. So this is especially a time where there's a lot of suffering in the world, and we're witnessing many people dying. And so because we hear about that in the news, it generates a feeling in us. But the truth is that it happens all the time. Beings are born and they die uninterruptedly all the time. And so it is not that there is no way we can protect them after they have died. In order to protect them, what we can do, so we can't keep them from dying, but we can protect them. What's important is that we apply methods to not fall into the 3 lower realms. But when it comes to having to give up this body, everyone is in the same circumstance. No one can prevent that. Everyone will have to die. But it's important then to think about the future lives, and therefore to practice virtue. To, for example, join the 100 million Mani mantra accumulation. So I really encourage you to make an effort in that. And when you practice the Mani mantra, for example, then also there's an even greater benefit if you observe silence otherwise. So I encourage you all to pay attention to that.
강의들 숨목의 제발 숨목의 제발 자세 시와라리 들이 접선은 아니고 고속 받는 빙글라니 소용 말에 송사의 제발 빨라니 자래 송죽의 제발들이 사적선배 주적 다 잡으려들이 남바의 제르마들이 삼마 너는 사바니 이게 먹고를 찍자요 말 또 속 차잖아 내가 정제 요가 사바다 이게 정원에 대는 적고 체대사 촉습의 주적들 마치와 지가 탑지와 뭐냐면 탑 답을 탑지도 주포 예체도 짜로 차요래 그래서 소목의 제발 송사의 제발 송주도 먹고 사적선배 제발 쓰는 데래 뒤 보나데 내가 까비양들이 다다 현강 삼바르지 모남데 잡아가는 새끼 능이지들 능이들 로리 샤 삼세오나 오 새끼 능을 될 능기 잡아다 기지 제가요 깍들이지 대기 능이지 들이 모남다는 현강 삼바르와지 현고만은 대바다 희지게 대박을 되어와셔 그래 현고만은 희지를 되어와셔 그래 대마에 카게 따바따비들이 초박가는 맵에 내가 레베 총총이 타는 뭐래 레베 총그리 대다다 갑들들이 생기는 희지 맞게 탐매시고 가니 되지 모남들이 동서사에 돈을 돼서 이 잡다는 거리 대답지 참을 게다 뭐하지 그리 송보라다다 이 모남들 이 견데들이 조족들이 지 모남 드라마다 마보 송노래 깡테를 독이 가래차라 지갑이들랑 그 살리는 데를 모남 딱 줘거래 대답이 속에 주스는 사지에 대바 마루바 다다족과 탐지 그때서 냠도 싸봤지 뭐 근데 그요래 랑기뿐 말에 딥히용으로 싸면들이 모남 답거래 이 같이 보여래
And so now, at this time, there are many sick people, and for their sake, the centers of Taiwan and Singapore and also Arizona have organized the collection of the accumulation of these 4 lines that come from the Shantideva's Bodhicharya Avatara dedication prayer. And so we have encouraged people to accumulate them many times, 100 million times. So after this, our center director will share the news with you about that. And now, then having accumulated these roots of virtue, now we are going to dedicate them. And also, if you rejoice in that, you will receive the same benefit. So when it comes to this prayer that comes from Shantideva's Bodhicharya Avatara, there are actually 3 great benefits coming together, like 3 like kind of things that are unique. The first thing that's unique is the one who was giving these teachings, which was Shantideva himself. And what was unique about him giving those teachings also was that he gave them with his kind of throne ascending up into the sky. So from within the clouds, he was giving those teachings. And then the special place, a unique place, was Nalanda. And then the special intention or purpose was the purpose of bodhicitta. And so in brief, the essence of it is for love to arise, for love and compassion to arise, because that is the cause of all happiness. Even if an animal gives rise to love and compassion, it will experience at least some happiness. So the Bodhicharya Avatara is so a method to cultivate this love where it has not yet arisen and to not let it decline where it has arisen. It really is the root of the 84,000 holy Dharma teachings. So there's these 3 unique qualities to the Bodhicharya Avatara. It's the unique like person who taught it, then the unique place where it was taught, and then the unique like purpose of teaching it. So then when you make this prayer, it is important that it is called the field toward whom it is directed, and your intention must unite. So what that means is that you bring to mind the suffering of sentient beings. When that arises in your mind, love and compassion for those sentient beings arises. And in this way, the intention becomes united with the field being suffering sentient beings. So the higher field actually are those that we feel devotion to, and then the lower field are sentient beings toward whom we feel compassion to. And so when the field has merged with the intention, a special feeling arises. Otherwise, if we only recite that verbally without thinking anything, then no special feeling arises. So that is when the field and the intention have not unified. And then the benefit will be much smaller and much more distant from you. So at that time when you are reciting this prayer, you have to merge the intention with the field, which is the sentient beings, thinking about their suffering and cultivating compassion. So we have actually reached that goal of accumulating 100 million accumulations of this prayer, and the director will announce that. And then in the end, we are going to dedicate this virtue also for those who are alive. Actually, you can apply this prayer to any circumstance. So whatever suffering arises, you can apply the same kind of prayer. Although there's many different prayers, you can change the wording of the prayer to fit the circumstance. And so in this way, great merit is accumulated. And also when this prayer is being made, don't think that it's just you reciting this prayer, but actually you are merging your mind with the intention of all the Buddhas of the 10 directions and 3 times. So they're all actually reciting it together with you because they all have the same intention. So it is important to understand how we accumulate merit in this way.
So the total result of everyone's worldwide accumulations in Asia and Europe and America is 125,964,943 recitations. So we all rejoice for everyone's effort together to accumulate and exceed Rinpoche's request. And we hope that everyone will continue to recite the 4-line prayer. You're able to post it on the Garchen Institute website, as well as the website in Taiwan. And then Singapore Center is handling all of the Asian recitations. So thank you so much for everyone's prayers and effort.
Turkey was on the Turkey Namagora to make another watch and the watch you got to go Mamela when you thought about the to get to sort of what you got the water and the Santa Kiji over the German about the water your part of people, you got the original water over the 20 started about the general and about the Bakaju and Cotton Basso, the Bobro, the Major Soja, was located about the general Cotton Basso, but then you got the children. Renal Bijolo and the young Tara about the yellow to give it. Saint Jala Bene Mona Milan Festival there to go to the Tony, you get to the father, the Jetajula Manatoa, the Yetaras about the yellow road, and the second don't you go to some you saw the one. Drop thoughts about the young brother, the one you the religion was something to the about the yellow, the Jabata Baba and the Mato Cardon was one of the yellow trail, the Macononia, Tobe to Baparang, 가서 당신들로 들어와서 사람 보지 저거도 뭐라 네 저것도 뭐 저게 아제도니 저 지원 좋아지로 준대로 들어와서 맞아서 저 특지 잡에서 제시는 저도 소소하게 봐봐 나도요 내가 책임을 받는다도 영망 걸어도 많이 섭진이 몰라 저 나와라 대지시게 되게 빠질라 나서 세ven한테도 세들도 외배를 쳐도 조신도 다듬 좀 조신도 다듬 저와 이거 양도 나와야 뭐지 공을 고도 배웠을 때로 더 유몽 얘기 열나라 사고 제제 소지어 저게 레다니 몸을 살리자고 신나지 버스로 소한테도 까줄이는 예조도 저도 몰라서는 마다는 제제 사제로 벌써 이제로 뒤지 벌써 냠니 제체 용보도 봐줘 올라서 어쨌든 저도 나와서 별로도 저면 고조도 제가 밤에서 노하는 것도 그래 그 좋은 말로 먹고 여기 날라 잡아줘도 되나 나로 되나 고도 그 잡서 제제 리서 알아서 막아라 찾고봐 봐도 돌려서 이제 고와 돌을 또 꼬르꼬르 갖다서 집에 줘 그냥 또 뭐고 구성형도 더 이거 지금 기상하게 만난 걸로 그래서 소리 집에 고와 돌을 와서 재미로 샘지도 제리도 뭐미도 막아니나 보랑 때에 오버랑 앞에 많이 되더라 그래서 저희 뭐래 판주 저 완전 슈퍼로 섬지고 저들 천중을 좀 달아서 고와 돌을 받아서 이 용도 저 말이나 이 싸워도 뭐 마보죠 저 집에 사이면 해도 가요 앞에 세범 앞에 동나리지 뱀생르지 당하다 진소 밤이지 이거 싸워이시마 사이에 발 용들대 소교업지 거네 주지로 뱀생지 잠이 앞제 깨란들 자니야 깨란들 잠이 앞제 깨란들 점점이가 이미 송주 다도 곰 저거라 나베 거서 색만 보고 저기 여도 살아 거다 들려온들랑 진제 선바 진장 시스바 진장我们那边红这不是什么样子红帮红不是什么样子的红啊红张是啊 그래서 세계 사람들이 시간이 오만 거라 다니서도 세계래 하고 저를 방주 저완초 세계가 저들 저 그저 세계 뭐저 세계고서 세계 주스 한국에서 나라 참 땡땡 소소 세계다 이로예 이로예로 고 엄마는 왜 먹어 이든 그 용기도 사는 항라람 이미 나그자 도다보고 가네 저기도 뭐라 미자 차다버다 드미도 자다버다 신는 마영 먹음 먹어봐 나도 드미강도 야 먹어봐야 내시에서 저기로도 전부 저 엄마는 왜 먹어 값서 서로 네네 꼴 맞지 줄을 봐는 또 걔도 이제는 뭐다 사고 도지어 가지고 고도로 달은 말을 이게 뭐지 가서 코버도 대형형을 놓고는 다들 담에서 자다는 좀 상부서지 진짜 맞아 선들은 고부서지 사장에 사발하는 리버들 서로라고 남힐로 가지고나 바보서지 나라 제제서 속에서지 정말 지나다 사다지들 말은 돼도 소 사다니들 말대도 소 사다니들 말 대대서 마도 벌어들어가지고 두다마에 소기 와가라 랭이서는 고와 돌려서 고보지지 저런데서 대대기도 고대 소남자 다다다라서 로아꾼이 받아서 뭐지 뭐지 와저들 시바서도 서저를 두고도 제기도 세발쇼 마음이 제가 짜방 지티 섬지 소동배 소나마베 로안이 기도디 레이저가 세바야 용어디 뭐라 그러는 가서지 말을 봐 사제 살고 용대네 아담한테 얘기 지 요용대 요만랑 자와 남가 고마라 자와 나와 고마라 초바포 숨만 소 다와 얘기 지 요용대 랑 매는 지송소 특히 전부 배마자부 유래도 숨만 사자서 이제 거에见过 공부 사제 삼제 도반에 상제 삼제 르바네 고보 찌리 这个因为一两这讲什么这么的或者去送走军车这种人民这个二个国宝啥玩意儿了着急老当官的上一届就是老上挂上也不知道你那个事情有多老那没把养到把做不啥就是我就做把这
Garchen Rinpoche has just bestowed the red Chenrezig lung for us, and next Khenpo Tenzin will bestow the 1,000 armed Chenrezig lung.
Rinpoche has to go to the toilet.
Bye bye, long life.
Yellow to Jimbo, Chaton Jindong, Jogata Yoso, Sonja Judo, Jonola, Janjo, Joseph, Lola Peso Sergeant of Radios and Yadeva, the Tevajet and the Project on the Tomarji, the Tavarji, the Marma, the Vatamara, Jadani, Tanyola, Nebara, George, Namaloga, Joria, Juga, Rango, Bamelongo, Dian Banjo, Genesis, Tuga, Jasu, Cambola, and the social of this. Katisu de Savalamazo, Kadre, Jibalama, Jonala, Zon, the Zosinjala, the Zon, Jodo, Mongo, Zardo, Rani, Yadan, the Servant, the Mahato, the Hayango, Home Page, Sanja, Masoba, Shuta, Sava, the Masoba, Shuta, Tumangalo, Jordan, Robojan, Jajiva, the Don, Joala, Tomata, Yatova, Sava, Deva, Jibajin, Banako, the Yambarajo, Maga, Makazova, the Manado, the Don, Home Page, so. Sumdan Masavata Dangawalo, Gedam, Sambara, Sumdan, Jumden, the Yabar, Himalas, and all the Yabazun, the Malas, and all the Yabakunja, and all the Yabatan, the Yusatawalas, and all. Kajizmajoya, Japan, the Jota, Zimajazota, Namba, Zotan, Jingala, Zobaya, the Talatomana, Zovajina, Labuja, and the Jinder. Mangbo Tang Juban, the Yanguzula, Nubazova, Yuatan, Sinala Pemasa, Transjibra, Jinja, to Yanda, the Lazo, Jabokula, Japan, the Galunga, Tamzi, the Sunja, Majaka, Menja, Zola, Zola, Gunza, Rangala, Yelano, Masaja, Onjuma, Junkataka, Lang, Brand, Zebe, Dania, Warasun, Zola, Dunjo, and Ganisusan, Zombrangenza. Chubazilla, Soba, the Mesoba, and Sanja, the Bangala, Rinpoche, no Sosa, Range, Mayoto, Jubala, Jusena, Ranjana, Tomana, Jusila, Meja, the Wajin, Jordan, Sonja Barjo, one Bataga, Humba, Padem, Alugan, and never the shop down. Sunam Jazosa Baneda, Game Grower, Nebe, Simjin, Tamja Dungar, Jamzo, Ledversum, Davers, Ratuja, Chamber, Jungle, Gombarazawa. Rangania Garban Lebema, Ale, David, and Area Garbo, Saravale, Ozandre, Bealamata, Tuji, Jimbala, Zola, Sanjita San, Josembo, Sojako, and the Yanaka, Bede, Dina, Jopara, San. Logo Sarva, Badamadazato, Sapara, Agam, Tavatiza, Sova, de Yunda, Baden, Bubande, Alogan, and the Jabata, Sova, Parajanjo. To Sanjabalatam Jetan, to Jimajangala Zotan, Jojo Sanjas, and Sanj, the JSM Janko, Don Sabazaran, Yin, and Ejin, Yuzon, the Medina, Embrayo, Langazoka, John Zalong, Jerry, John Jabatama, Yesaron, and the Jeto, the Bell, and Jijin Toloja. 结我年对让家讲究生对什给在了就要让对什家白家呢什么也就个什么的那么个都装着东门们在两年的也拿这个的一把算的应该是吧刚才别拉面做不上就多把有计算在那些上看说这个什么东二万的东西人人间的那东二当这边小我对吧？这边小我家当大这边，当年那边小我算大人做件拿上了，他们不来就一起做啥吧？呢，我们说吧，遇到啥吧？他们说遇到。只能解决我保存的这边对吧？他们家让人家大白让人的大把我们训练大家南北做说爸爸妈过行节让我们说吧，遇到啥吧？他们说遇到往东北岸来。谁也搞不清楚就把那爸爸今日在家东街东过到个不就个就被家人，如果就把家人马上某这个这个家人也这个这边家人也我把没就我当就这个在外家。这个家眷呢，在外家呢，多个当么点话题，我们年当成我这边满这样话题，我们年当过了当然把这种话题，我们年当就渐渐在。Rinpoche di oma ni na zhuge tang de yun zhen ba wen yin la long ge cha zhe sum jiu so jian ne ye jie zhu ge na Rinpoche xiao ba long zhe ra zhe du jie jia zhen qu mei xian da yu zhong ma nga ya ba ban ba zha dan zhen hua biang bu nin ma da ba biang gu zhen ba wo yun jie zhu ge na jin jia le biang si ba ra zhe dong ge du yo zhen zhe ba du jie jiu jiu zhe 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 ge lu ge mi ga lin wan guo le zhe be zui gun zhen bei ma ma bo ren bo jie su le jie ba zhen ba wen yin la这个家东呢就见家下家这边的建制三边主啊这种心情那么都就说人民把娘把这把下年这个东下年这个东了你的应把我人他们别人家家的没把人不见拿走别不见你见个人见不见个什么多多一点家多老是们这边这把东拿走些都有的没有当然讲说了路都说完这是不说你别这个呢这样把点对接那么是来那么中嘛那么一个这么更多讲解进下路当街做等着话也见到么的先到人这把更多个不接下你也人不接当用没那个真完这样把用讲他妈什么人安这嘛更多个不接下你也接个接这么用别办这吧松干的当什么见到这边下不了对进下不了对不是接什么就么这个摇摆就变大么的上街那完他也可能嘛不讲你定眼这样加今年白就中国有一件这边个人这边个家路见到见变得就年蓝的呢一个街变得当不那么难这你不的用上街今嘛你个么眼过了顺不么就把这不的用妈妈跟我你用我把你也多了几我把人家就的当这把的用工的怎么你是不也人不接都把那往大爷大姐把的用工搞不你嘛不也变嘛个把东西这把的就把的用着嘛你讲过也都是家家长就把都就把都就把的用起来就把这怎么你个不也变嘛那吧Yamna yung din la din je yamna yung cho jin je cha ye tam je chang je to garan ze ba de tam je ja da dan bu jin na zo be jin je ja san be jin zhong ge zhuo ba 根本就如果的三界金马大妈妈给他更多什么的各个人的中马的一来就把他金马那更多强行桥论拉说把让给要等同把我一起也用强行查瓦松说也更给怎么对中间东西把讲就先把交流就把下过了也都把家人个不讲你不完全把拉马眼界都把他让人我不呀来路个没有都把学校都把是不是现在把东个对着都把学校生给那不离完这样吧也大概都把那个怎么不人不接中本真吧讲过了你别都把学校那我们就是把这个按这个交流这些北京家那么家那个当个那这边就把我给大家但是把几把来去把那当年让把我当天的那就把就是把对就叫做把给这个社会搭档对就叫做都改变嘛个不对吧对吧经过这个是也个不你把老师都让新鲜的甚至别个嘛但这边都就把老师给这个那个建章把它叫了这那不当多人多人在边让有人就这边的讲的就个见面我连嘛也就是跟这个都个把都就问个那的就是说我们边那比方也还别说什么在经常别他都接见包括大家把这个来入这个人呢 Sumbaras user never to the Japan and Malaysia to the Zedala to January Gonzola to the one gauge of Jinjalo. One man be more some idea, Chujagola, Nizamanga, and the Better Salon, Juzo, Great to Jay, and to go to the Kusan, Yellow Sons, man be my home. Daman Yadam, Jenduja, Nangra, Yobela, Yusmalatam, and be chance over mirror to Jamako, Jebala, New Muntigon, Domanga, Josno, Yusosa, Punza, Sojen. So many on Sabinza Mega or Examination, certain Georgia, Zatonda, Soche, and Joban, so Jesus Argampa, and Bibi Balog in any way the chapter. Punza Mega for Zura Terrorism, Jola Zora Jelamananga, Ganga, Jungola, Zonis, and Jobambergi, Jinja, Laudos, and Bezalas, and Bezashara. The Bembezan and Bezabinzalem, Bezra Dharma, Zarwa, Bunza, Samaya Mandala, La Shinjo Parasante, and Nizam, Badaman, Yikolanizamaya, Naja, Tanzamala, Nizame, Paratim, Parajunajan, don't tell us about the Zon, and the Zon, Bao, Shila, Yibaton, Nangra Yobana, Danduja, Tamzambala, Nizame, Paratem, one Korovan, Kungashinga, Kurjone, Jarawa. Ring out meaning, Yari Jado, Angorsin Jala, Yang, so, Hong so Abeginza, she one grotoje, down to Jalanam Javala, one daring a virgin Barasa, Kusunto Chin, Jala Banner to Sunsan, Tom Jajo, Kusuto, Yermesa, Kusum, Toda Jela, National, one Gorgia, Tabaka, Zedon, Wakazanot, Zida Zedon, Shibecha, Janisum, down to Songatam Jajo, on Government Palma, Wato, Kahong Banam, Kusunto, Dorjisum Jason, Ranjin, Dorjisum Jaranjin, to Barasam. To Banner to Jimbala, Romajira India, the Wednesday Passenger, the user rings and then Bajira Simil, Madu, Yana, Yemela, Shela, Jagola, Chancellor to Jimbajola, Nambra, Naja, Yadam, Judamelo, Yidan, Zonga, Yidan, no one to your sword, Yet, to your Passer, Yagun, Shinga, Chancellor, the Bazavan, Mete, Shagaram, Jansi, so Concapola to Pedante. 家在街这人给去，只要我们是宝贝许多做的们是宝贝许多，日子让嘛呢，宝贝都要红，设备嘛呢都学着红，西林顿街新家啦，我也都买的这不的那个的，我的这个在那的啊，我的妈什么那也说吧，林顿街啦的。 你我妈我真听了用的多呢，家在街道人给都给了一个这么好结果完了，我这顿街家了，他们家都给了大卫，我说了一个这么好的就把我说说他们家的这边说街的吧，就把他们家的故事都你们就把不，见了没得把这个刚准备，什么家他们家了不别了我一说家这把就推荐真别光把那个东山街听见看见女家他们家推荐真别了说。 就是的，他们家当对就做过来，他们家也给中门啊，主动的话，他就没去不了。 面前的大雁把没把，就是把没老我妈那边红，见着大就把心老我妈，这大雁个红白，我们苏巴去到什么？他们苏巴去到广东北，俺来中东不接，那苏州那里，你的朋友说就把人就在那让新疆东巴南巴就在这里上面的话，接把接去那边酒店上街嘛，叫把人叫白在阿公阿红把等别别的把龙给那边的去到，我呀老个叫着啥不阿公把的在说话的，现在把等别别的。 阿鲁根根的那位的，差不多把这这说话都把那是弄过来就不断进动，搞把上边上街东刚啊刚都是掉了，准备中间来走了，上早了对不把听，其他个人家里边那么能过的就在这边都把这说街都东边呢东嘛俺都啥就。 都嘛啊，就下节新老板呢，我们说把位许多说的们说把位许多吧呢，说就那么说话的那个把有么个别说话的跟个就说，么说话的跟个个的说话的那，们刚刚那刚说话，我们咱们的跟着了那我们那么说话的那个，阿瓦罗跟我们什么红，见那瓦罗跟那么上面的说话的人们什么，他们的人都是这样做了，那我那么上面的不但能个就是这边什么有说话，我们别人们两个人把人嘛，把人说把一旦不那个。 Sum ya lo ge jora sabra bara edam bala ge ga ye sum dewa na na sabra bara edam bala ge ga ye sum dharma pala ra ja sabara bara edam bala ge ga ye sum chon chu ne 错在什让给多个生活来让阳光说这边做你这不做当的，谁讲这边大不拉些来呀红这边各种多些都是人各种都是人一见没在把那个做的就不新鲜了来呀哈或者说这边做些文字讲些这类这都么那个讲话那边的他们就对这啥把没办都用就做到不他切中米不就让阳光哈或者些连锁就来呀那么说这样的把有没个别啥话的讲我的啥那么跟那讲说吧连对些新来先做不能见过这种的不然也或者是让眼界健康的早就了嘛当把就今日在网播呀用这的什么见过不把面把的身把做到什么做个上身把东上你这个Garchen 三层东三年这个对吧？周大姐马当康州雄州大区中当局对接大马略南的中州的贵北京的就接那土街马多牛的就这么叫大了，我有个那个大了，现在了见个你不得把就在做去。新老来三米对绝对就是昨天就把这件的早就了嘛那兰博万个新街了，昨天就把这件的也当跑做跑不做兰博当兰国真的女做昨天就把这件的马当看着做兰博之类这拉板就做昨天就把这件的就想当去做兰博三节点把你跑做就问这两着把人做我们过了马兰个人把单本把单的话的。而呀的阿瓦罗格小人这干这跟呢，达玛巴拉萨巴瓦让看那这本着卡黑些西沃，另外也说他们的嘛就把多就中间啊，将来那边做了龙就那么的把罗pom节开觉的我们干什么个说话的面啊，对。红昂被所谓人做全国了，那么到跑步做过了年，所谓人啊，跟到两个大玩马坡娘么，穷着的不做大姐，跑龙酒呢。啥家动物做当这个月去了，真不是说让不做浪车来着，这是啥把这事儿吧。巴夏个人们西藏生不落，记住呢，我们老个叫了啥巴人话人，阿干不得是说话的，用到巴顿对阿罗跟的那位的。那位的下达巴的在说啊，把钱就都把那交通过路就别就不同钱通过把上表上去都看了看都对了，对东北什么把今日做了长在路去就把牛把当娘把当把做你去。你这这么个人呢？来六万个那的跟着拉做把人对接到二呀，六个有了什么也把他把来呀，六个有了电脑把电脑这么把数这个要么把数就要么把那人没把说话是的没把因此说话干嘛是说没这种一人各种红哈后帮啊喂，啥话的当个的六个有了嘛没嘛在六个有了把嘛什么也啥多一家把词顺接弄把下呢对人呢让你。今天就是稍微都给了我认真的就多接近表，那把我的人呢让你拉天太阳人别接近的对的都给一路了他们的我们那边红太阳都给上我是一了他们的你将去年大不应算家的样的妹把它叫西叫我们那边红都是上年同学各种的。三那对中三节跟这个种当中，都跟了都接近节在咱们的年节都接种在帮爸爸今日是节这些小妹东都是那种么上过那个的，你的今日是往之前，如果就马来巴的早两个把就苏南的呀，他们就是往年同往年别着那把是那这个那就把浪着吧。随便做人做把就身体那把今年把你的那来他就见着们那那马来把大东就往没把就讲究什么叫人不接嘛几把能几节几把年把没把公的公的别把就。
Finish. You want to say something or we have practice? Or
Do you want to do any dedication? Okay. We'll do the dedication prayer in the yellow prayer book on page 28. May the teachings of the great Drigumpa Ratnashri, Master of Interdependence, Omniscient Lord of Dharma, who has seen all knowable things, be upheld until the end of cyclic existence through study, practice, hearing, contemplation, and meditation. Your 1,000 arms are the 1,000 wheel-turning kings. Your 1,000 eyes are the 1,000 Buddhas of this fortunate eon. Your love is boundless like space. I supplicate to the Bodhisattva Chenrezig. Thank you, everyone. Please join us tomorrow at 9 a.m. His Eminence Garchen Rinpoche will give commentary on the 8 Mahayana precept vows and also bestow the vows. So please join us tomorrow. Thank you. Be safe and be well.